Hello, hello. So today's scrappy improvised video about voice is a scrappy voice video about improv. Did you see what I did there? Oh, very, very clever. So I am an improviser. I'm also a voice coach, and I do at the end of the month, for example, this particular month. Can you tell I haven't edited this video? That's the point of these scrappy videos. At the end of the month, 2025 November. That's where we are. I'm doing a voice for improv course at in Prague, where I am at the moment. So if you're interested in that, check the link. I'm also doing a voice lab online program in the new year. There's a wait list for that. So check the link. This is bad. My ability with words is going, and that happens with improv. But today I'm going to be talking about 5 ways that voiced work can help with your improv. Nice and structured and everything. Got 5 points in this one, not like the previous videos I've been doing, which have just been complete rambles. But today we have 5 ways. I've written them on my piece of paper in a nice writing that I can read. I've moved the page. It's all screwed up. There we go. So the first way, as an improviser, I've seen a lot of sort of not bad voice use, just kind of boring one level voice use, which is normal for people who have started improv, but maybe don't have a kind of acting performance background. So the first reason that you should do voice work, I think, is that it gives you easy ways to do very bold, big choices. So, for example, a lot of the time people come on stage as an improviser, multiple improvisers, and they'll stand up and they'll talk in their normal voice. And they'll do their good improv practices of doing who, what, where or something. They might go in and they go, so welcome to my bank. You want to open a new bank account for your chicken rearing farm business. It's a terrible improv. I didn't know what I was thinking of. Now we're doing a scene in a bank with someone trying to open a bank account. Which is not, it's a bit boring, it's not great, you don't really want to do those sort of things sometimes, but, people respond with their normal voice. However, when you have voice choices, when you know how to use your voice, you can come in and you can say a lot less. You can make big choices, and the quality and the sound and the play of your voice will kind of add something into the scene that the other person can play off of. So, for example, you might have someone coming in and you might go, so, Jonathan, good morning. It's time to take your medicine. Now we've got this sort of like evil character who's like, and the other person can play it off. It's not just, hello, Jonathan, it's time. My name's Jonathan and I have to take some medicine. It's in the morning. Now, there's some sort of ominous feel to it, Similarly, you might get someone with exactly the same line. Maybe we say, good morning, Jonathan, it's time to take your medicine. Get rid of the so. Editing on the fly. And they might have a different voice, good morning, Jonathan, it's time to take your medicine. And now there's this sort of large, fairy, sort of windy voice, think of, this kind of, maybe some sort of matron or a nurse or like just someone bubbly, completely different from that first one, but it's the same words. Similarly, we can try a third way, just to see what happens. Maybe we go for something that's like, I don't know, anything like a voice like a rock or something. Good morning, Jonathan. It's time to take your medicine. That has a whole different feeling. And you can play around with accents as well. All right, maybe we can do a bit of a London accent, maybe. Okay, Cockney geezer. All right, morning, Jonathan. It's time to take your medicine. It's got a kind of mob boss type vibe, but it's sort of the same thing. And if you go in with choices like that, you can set a real nice quality to the scene. You can kind of bring out the colours of the scene just by the voice choices that you make. So that's the first one. Second one, very simple. It says, more fun. This is my notes, by the way. I've told you that already. It's more fun and it's easier. So just as if you have ever done emotions, this is a common thing in improv. You kind of you come in with an emotion. Maybe you're kind of sad. Good morning. I don't know what to do today. And everything you do in that scene, you just double down on the sadness. It's like an easy way to have fun in the scene, because everything that your character will do, because you just have to be sad. And the same is true for these voices. If you've got this Cockney geezer, all right there, tell you Cockney geezer, everything that they say, you've just got this Cockney geezer voice. Oh, would you like a slice of pickled herring? You know what? I would like a slice of pickled herring, actually. Love a bit of pickled herring, And you can kind of just lean into the voice as a way of kind of keeping the improv going. It makes it a lot easier, but it's fun as well, because who would this character be, and you can just remove the kind of logical bit of your brain, just play around with the voice. 3, another reason why you should be using voice work is consistency. Consistency, darling. This is a very big problem in improv. I say problem. It's not a problem at all, really, but people get stuck with it because they don't know how to get past it. And they go, oh, Alex, the thing is, I come in and I try and do an accent, Maybe you do an Irish accent, you're coming out on stage, and I'm just going to do an Irish accent for this scene. Everything I'm going to do is going to be in this Irish accent. But then as you were going through the voice, you're trying to think about the improv, and then you're trying to think of the thing to say, and then that person said it, and then oh, I've said that bit, and then oh no, I need to talk about that bit, and then there's oh no, and now I've got rid of my Irish accent, and then so you remember, and then you try to put the Irish accent back on again into the scene, but then you've forgotten what you're doing in the scene, and then it's hard to do, and then you're thinking about your accent, so you're not having fun in the scene. And the accent, it gets a little bit floppy, So doing some voice work can help with that, because there are kind of particular hooks that you can give to a particular voice. So maybe my Cockney geezer, for me, I sort of might put it in the chest and somewhere in the shoulders, and there's a bit of a hunch, So I sort of peg the accent to the way that my body's standing. And then there's also this thing I'm doing. Look, my top lip here is coming out this way, It's going to be a Cockney geezer. So I know that if I'm going to go a different character, Cockney geezer, it's like easy, because I've pegged it to the way that I'm creating that sound, the way that I'm creating that voice in my body, because the voice comes from the body. Oh. The 4th reason that you should be doing voice work for improv is that it makes you a better performer. So often people come into the world of improv not as a performer, come in because you just want to be a bit more confident. And then you discover this thing called improv, and you're like, whoa, man, this has changed my life. And indeed, it can. But unless you've come in from another performance discipline, like acting or clowning or whatever, you maybe haven't been trained in performance skills. And this is something that people can kind of get stuck with, because then they go to an acting class, but it's not got very much improv in it, and then they have to learn lines, and they're like, yeah, but this isn't what I wanted to do, because I was doing improv. And there's not so many acting courses for improvisers. There are some people do stuff, but they're quite rare, really, to just focus on the acting skills of the improv. So as a person who teaches voice for improv, I do that for a reason, and it's because if we have a load of improvisers and we can play with the voice, we can play through the medium of all these games that we already know. And if I do a voice course for actors, or I do a voice course for stand-up comedians, or businessy people for presentations, there's not this baseline knowledge of improv. So I have to teach a bit of improv, maybe, if we want to use some of those exercises. But for improvisers, you've already got those. So then you learn a bit of, you learn the skills, and then you have better performances. You can be heard, you can fill the room up, you can stand on stage in such a way that it's nice to watch. You know how to use the space, all these sort of things that are involved in being a great performer. Voice work is a great way into that, I think, and it's something that not many people learn. And finally, Fifth reason to use voice work is it breaks through that confidence plateau. So, as I say, you come to the world of improv often because you want to be a bit more confident. That's certainly why I started improv some years ago. And I was already into voice at that point, but I was still lacking some confidence, so I came to improv. And often what happens is you get confident eventually. You go through a course or 2 or 3, and you're like, okay, I'm a confident improviser now. I can get on stage and I don't need to think about what I'm going to do. And then we kind of plateau at the level. You know, people get stuck in their sort of normal standard ways of doing improv characters because they've reached that and then they've stopped growing. And people can find it difficult to know how to keep growing. You keep doing improv courses, of course, but and that helps definitely. But it kind of, it can get us, we can end up getting stuck in a kind of style, and our style is maybe not a million miles away from our normal self, how we show up in the world maybe. But we're doing improvised moves that are good improv moves. And we're not really sure how to kind of push ourselves to get to a level where we can keep growing. And there are many ways to do this, but I would say that the voice is a great way in, because there are so many levels beyond just being able to use your voice in a kind of healthy way that are fun, and you can do loads of stuff. Yes, so that is the 5 reasons that you should use voice work, the benefits that it will bring to improvisers. If you like this video, which has gone on quite long actually, they've been, oh no, I shouldn't have said that. Now you're going to be like, oh, I've watched this video for too long. Yeah, you knew how long it was. It's not my fault. Yeah, I don't know, if you like this video, if you like improv, if you like voice, subscribe. That's a thing you could do. You could hit the bell icon. Apparently that's a thing that makes some bit of difference, or other bits people say it does nothing. You can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok. You can sign up to the waitlist for the Voice Lab online, which is coming in the new year. You could come, if you're in Prague, to the Voice for Improv course. If you happen to watch this in November 2025, which is statistically less likely that you're watching it at this time. And yeah, that is all I have to say. Said the cow. Yeah, that's the way to end the video.